What's good, y'all? Dr.Trehunna. Now, a lot of people nowadays do not know that carbs and sugar is the exact same thing in the human body or what you see on the label, and it breaks down to glucose, right? And now a lot of people, around this time of year, they're getting their blood work done, and then they come to realize that they're pre-diabetic, okay? So what we're going to talk about or cover in this video today is the 5 signs that you're eating way too much sugar, okay? That your body's letting you know you're just totally unaware of it, all right? Now, first things first, the first sign that your body will let you know that you're consuming too much sugar is you're starting to receive a lot more brain fog, all right, or cognitive impairment, okay? So, believe it or not, the brain needs a lot of glucose for it to work. The brain literally only runs off glucose or beta-hydroxybutyrate, which are ketones, okay? Now, when you start to become insulin resistant, once again, what do insulin do? Insulin tells your body what to do with the nutrients that you're providing it exogenously, which means what? When you feed your body some food, right? Insulin tells your body, hey, I want you to store these nutrients, right? And it's directing where the nutrients is going, right? Now, if you become insulin resistant, that's your body letting you know, hey, you're giving me too much sugar, okay? So now, because we know this sugar is going to kill us off one day, we're going to go ahead and become resistant to insulin, which means what? Now you just got more sugar just floating around in your blood, okay? But once again, if your body's becoming insulin resistant, guess what's also becoming insulin resistant? Your brain. And if your brain becomes insulin resistant, your brain is not getting the nutrients that it needs so it can run efficiently, okay? Now your brain is running off fumes, okay? And that's why 9 times out of 10, when you start to become a sugar addict, some days you probably notice you feel great, and some days you be walking to rooms and you be like, why did I walk into this room? You're starting to have those type of things happening to you, okay? So, once again, if you are noticing that this is happening, you need to cut off the sugar, okay? Cognitive impairment is not normal, all right? So just pay attention to yourself and see how you feel day in and day out, all right? Tip number 2 is you noticing that for some odd reason, you're going to the bathroom a little bit more than usual and you always thirsty, okay? So believe it or not, we was not supposed to drink a gallon of water a day, all right? Just like we were taught, right? There's such thing as being overly hydrated, okay? But what a lot of people is noticing nowadays too is they're going to the bathroom about 5 to 6 to 7 times a day. When it's nighttime, they wake up in the middle of their sleep to go to the bathroom about 2 or 3 times, okay? That means that you are excreting too much sodium and you're excreting too much sugar out your system, okay? So once again, when your body becomes insulin resistant, right? And insulin tells your body or your kidneys to hold on to sodium, right? Now what's going to happen is there's so much sugar flowing in your body that is literally pulling out fluid from your cells and from your tissues and from your organs, right? And your body knows that, hey, there's too much water in our system, we need to excrete it out. So you're not basically retaining as much water as the average person, okay? So if you're noticing that you're peeing a little bit more and for some odd reason you're going through water bottles day in, day out, that's another sign or indicator that's letting you know, hey, you're just consuming too much sugar, because a lot of people do not know that carbs and sugar naturally make your body retain more water, and your body needs a source or a balance. It's not supposed to have a whole bunch of water, because that's going to literally raise your what? Your blood pressure. All right. And speaking about blood pressure, tip number 3, if you're noticing that your blood pressure is magically climbing, right? Believe it or not, that's a sign letting you know that it's not the sodium that's making your blood pressure climb, okay? That is just fixing the symptom, okay? The old underlying root cause of it is because you're inducing or you're eating too much sugar, okay? The reason being is because when you are eating sugar, once again, once you start to become insulin resistant, now your endothelial cells, which is the lining of your arteries, right, is not able to dilate, okay? So if there's more volume, blood volume coming in, and there's more water in your body, right, and your arteries are stiff, right, now your blood pressure will climb because your blood pressure or your arteries is not dilating, right? It's not as flexible, okay? So think about you wearing jeans and think about you wearing leggings, right? If you're wearing leggings, you're able to do about 500 squats easy, right? You're able to move. It's more flexible, right? When you're wearing jeans, you try to do some squats, it's not going to feel the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, the same thing applies for your arteries inside your body, okay? So your body or your arteries need to be able to dilate, okay? But the only way it's able to dilate is if your endothelial cells are not insulin resistant and they're able to produce nitric oxide outside, which allows it to dilate, okay? So if your blood pressure is climbing, once again, you don't have to cut off the sodium. You need to cut off the sugar. All right. Tip number 4, if you notice that for some odd reason, you're just waking up in the middle of the night, or you feel like for some odd reason, you just always have to have a snack here and there, or you have to have something sweet sometime in the day, that's your body letting you know it's starting to become sugar dependent. Okay. So when your body is starting to become sugar dependent, like 80% of Americans, right, your body's unable to access its own body fat. Believe it or not, sugar is kind of like a drug, just like alcohol is kind of like a drug. What these two things do is spikes dopamine. Okay? Dopamine is a hormone that is the motivational hormone. It basically makes you seek to do the actions that's going to basically give you the prize at the end of the day. Okay? So once again, dopamine is not the, oh man, a pleasure hormone like a lot of people think it is. It is the, hey, I want you to go ahead and seek to do this action so we can go ahead and feel good later on during the day, okay? That's why alcohol, one thing we probably noticed is we probably had some alcohol. The very first time we had alcohol was like, this is the worst thing in the world. I'm never going to have no alcohol again, right? And then we start to associate alcohol with friends because we're having a good time when we're going out to drink with our friends, right? And getting drunk. And now we have a Hennessy bottle or we have a cup of wine every single night, okay? So it grew to that. Now, here's the thing. The average American eats carbs every single day, day in and day out. You're starting your day off with breakfast, or you're starting your day off with Starbucks, right? With the whipped cream and the caramel and the fudge, right? And then you're going ahead and to the doctor's office, you probably might grab some Hershey Kisses, right? Then you having your lunch with your smoothie, right? Then you having your dinner and you're having mashed potatoes and some corn and some chicken, right? But because you're having so much glucose, now your body's saying, okay, you want me to run off sugar. So now instead of me burning this body fat, we're going to rely on you for energy. Okay, so once again, the 5 signs that you're eating way too much sugar or you're becoming a sugar addict is 1, you're starting to receive some cognitive impairment. You start to realize you have a lot more brain fog. 2, for some odd reason, you're craving sugar way more than usual, right? You always have to have some sugary throughout the day or at least once during the day. 3, you're starting to be excessively thirsty. You're always peeing 8 to 9 to 10 times a day. Tip number 4, you're starting to wake up out your sleep. And the reason being is because you're starting to become hypoglycemic when you're asleep, okay? And 5, for some odd reason, your blood pressure is climbing, okay? Hopefully y'all learned something today. And that's your reset tip of the day. It's going to help you stay snatched all the time, knowing it's summertime. Ladies, you're going to have to get off that sugar if you want to get in a healthier state. Sugar is literally toxic for the human body, but your body's able to withstand this sometimes, not all the time, not the whole duration of your life, okay? And actually, there's just a study that just came out that our generation is not going to live as long as our predecessors. So for some odd reason, we got all this technology, right? Health is way better as far as the technology in health. A lot of people is able to live longer, but not live longer without any diseases. People are just dying longer, okay? So let's increase our health span, not our lifespan, and the lifespan where you just bedridden or you're in a wheelchair for the rest of your life, okay? Hope y'all learned something today. Talk to y'all soon.